Hi everybody, welcome back to Brelsford Family Homestead. I'm Darcy. This is Joe. It's turkey butchering day. We're not going to show the real bloody stuff. We can't show that on YouTube anyway, but I wanted to share with you our setup and how we dispatch our turkeys, and then later after they've chilled, I'll show you how I'm going to preserve them as well. So we're going to get set up and I'll show you how we have everything. I would definitely recommend some type of butchering apron. I have just made us these over the years with feed bags. They're super easy and cheap, but you could also buy something online. It just keeps your clothes cleaner and dry, and they wash off easy. I wear these when we are piecing out chickens and things like that too. So behind me here we have a turkey fryer. I'll give you a closer up look. Just propane tank with turkey fryer up on here for the water, and then we have an instant read thermometer. I have one of these in the kitchen too. This one's just for butchering to keep the temperature correct on the water for scalding. Now for these turkeys, we are hand plucking. We do not have a plucker yet that is big enough to handle large turkeys. These have been fair turkeys, so they're quite a bit larger than the typical ones maybe you would have. And so some of them we may actually have to pour this water on if they won't fit in here, but we'll hand pluck them, which is no problem. So no plucker for this setup today. So it's just a real simple turkey fryer setup. You know, there's a few different ones that you can get. This is what we have. We have some cold water here, but we have the hose too. So if the water ends up too hot. This is where we will be dispatching the turkeys. Joe and I just made this one out of a cattle mineral tub, so it's bigger. These sizes are for chickens, and so they're just not big enough. We are also going to attach a wire to here that we will also wrap around the turkey's feet, and we will zip tie the turkey's feet. Just because they're really large, they'll be sticking up and they can really hurt you. So we're just doing an abundance of caution to make sure we don't have any injuries or trips to the ER. We don't want that. For my setup over here, shade, which is great, especially for hot times. It's not too hot today. This table, if you can see, I have PVC here to elevate it. I'm a tall girl, but even if you're not, it's a little low for cutting and things like that on a lot of animals. We only have 6 to do today, so not too bad, but let's save our backs. I have several knives here, 2 Victorinox, and they're sharpened. I have some poultry shears because I intend to cut some of these turkeys up in halves and quarters. Gloves, paper towels, this has been cleaned off, and water. So I have a trash bag here. This bag, a bucket, I use to put like the heads and innards and things like that in, and then we do whatever we're going to do with them. Today though, the pigs will be getting that. This cooler here is on wheels. We will use it to transport the eviscerated turkeys up to the house into a large cooler full of ice and water. It's uphill, so just be really heavy, especially with multiple birds. We have, I think I said already, 6 turkeys that we're butchering today, so it won't take too long to get that done. And some other important things I have is a big cup of water for me and soap. So if I need to wash my hands and do other things, wash off the table just in case there's any poop action. I think we're ready to go. All right, Joe and my daughter brought them over in this fence just to corral them. They're in the shade, and then we don't have to take them very far to their final destination. I just zip tied its feet together just to keep it from kicking itself out, hopefully, and for Joe. I won't show the killing part here. Keep your face away from those feet, pretty please. We have taken turkeys to places to be butchered before, and it can be pretty expensive. It's also kind of stressful to the turkeys, and the last place that we went to was a place we'd never been to before, and we just really were unhappy with the way that the turkeys were treated. And so we want them to be treated with respect and be called humanely. So that's why we're doing this ourselves. I don't think I pointed it out before. We have that bucket there to just catch the blood, and there's water in it to keep it from like getting coagulated and whatnot, and we will pour that in the compost.
The meat up. So basically what you do, normally what I would do is I'm just going to do it and then stick them in there. I probably got a little too much water in there for turkeys. Stick them in there, kind of rustle them around a little bit. I like to pull it out, dump it in again. Keep them in there for about 15-20 seconds. After that, kind of pull on one to see if it comes out. If they come out real fast and easy, it's ready to go. So
what he means by the bronze nasty is you can pluck them easily. It's just they have all this black stuff left behind a lot of times, and it's hard to get them to look nice and clean and presentable. So I did clean off this trough, and we are going to use this as an area to pluck them so I'm not getting it all over the evisceration table. With our chickens, we usually scald the feet now first, just so that they'll peel easily, and then put the other side in. Whichever. All right, hopefully I can get some good angles here for you. First thing I'm gonna do is to cut off the feet. If you kind of bend that, you can find the separation of the joint there. You don't need to cut through the joint. And then I have a bag here that I'll put those in. I want to clean that bottom up first, but I'm going to eviscerate this guy first. Gotcha. I'm hitting something on that one. There we go. So I'll show you, but I'm going to cut that off with the shears. We don't personally use the head for anything, so it's going to go in this bucket. So this is the same as with the chicken. You're going to come in here, get yourself a little hole, and pull this open, and then you can see the windpipe, the esophagus, and this is the crop right here. There'll probably be very little to anything in it because they have not had food. And we're gonna take that windpipe and that trachea and separate that and pull the crop away too. It's kind of like stuck on here. So now you have this just kind of loose. And when we pull the innards out, this should all come through. If it doesn't, we'll just reach back in and pull it out. Now here, let me see if I can point it towards you. I want to take this slow so you can see. So the tail, I don't keep it. This is the vent here. There could be some poop, so you're going to be careful, kind of keep it over. I pick up some of this skin here between the vent and the keel and make a slit, not too deep because you do not want to hit the intestines or anything. And then I just pull it open and then reach in. Well, actually what I do like to do is make a little bit of a slit on each side of this vent, because we will be cutting that out. We're not keeping the vent, but don't cut into the intestines that are on the vent. We don't want any of that poop anywhere. So we're just gonna reach in here and grab this stuff and just pull. I like to let it kind of fall to the bucket there. The weight of it will kind of pull itself and keep things from being a mess. Now see this? Sorry if that's gross. There's that crop and the windpipe trachea. Okay, I am going to save not the See that green thing? That we don't want that. That's the, with all the bile and stuff like that. We'll cut that off. So we have that. And this is the gizzard, which we will clean. I'm not sure. And the heart is still in there. So pull that. There is the heart. We're not keeping this, so this will go in there. You can use your fingers to pull out the lungs, which is not terribly important for me. There's the windpipe. So we don't, or the trachea, we'd only gotten one of them because I'm going to be piecing this out. So now just go ahead and cut the rest of the way down to that tail to get the vent and the remaining innards off of there. You can use a pair of scissors if you want, but it does separate there into the bucket. And then we'll reach in and just make sure we got everything. I'll show you a lung. I just pulled one out. I don't keep those either. So they make things that you can use to get a lung out, but I've found that if you just put your hand in here and go like this with your finger, you can pop them out like this without any issue. So there's the other one. Now I will hose this out and put it in the thing. The gizzards do need to be cleaned. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to keep them for consumption, you need to cut them open. You can kind of find the side there, there's a line, and just cut down until you start to see like kind of a white yellowish membrane, and you pull it open and see this is why they need grit and things. There's a little piece of rocks and things that helps them to break down and digest their food, but you don't want to eat that. And so then you also want to pull off this yellowish membrane. We're not eating that. And you can just get it here on the side and pull. It is like a real tough skin, but a lot of times if you get it just right, you can pull it off in just a couple of pieces, or I guess if you're real good, maybe one. But you do want to get all of that off. It's really tough, and you'd never chew that up. All right, so that'll get hosed off too. When we're doing a lot of birds, I usually have something here with ice on it to keep that in, but I'm just going to put it in the cooler, and I'm going to rinse off and rinse out this turkey. I am going to leave the neck on too, because we will use the carcass for broth. I can pull more of these feathers off, but we are going to be pulling all this skin off, so it's not a huge deal, but I do want it to be clean. And there you have a clean, mostly clean on the outside, but eviscerated turkey ready to be chilled. Almost forgot, I told you I would show you. So you can cut that off, use scissors, whatever. You don't want that in your broth or your food. There are plenty of people who like to eat these. And then I do like to just trim off the ends of the toes with nails, because yeah. And then that will be ready for broth. This is what we've done with the chickens in the past. Just stick the feet in first. Helps to get a good scald so that we can peel them easily. Of course, then it makes the feet pretty hot to dip the rest in. This is pretty big. The last two remaining whites are toms, so we may have to actually pour water on them to scald them because they may not fit in there. This is the second to largest turkey, and this cone is working out well. Joe does want to build a bigger, taller frame and either have a solid back or a board across here because the weight of them does push that kind of backwards a little bit, but it's working out really well. Well, we're all done with this portion. We've cleaned everything up. We got the feathers and the compost. Joe took the innards and stuff down to the pigs. If they don't eat it all, we will clean it up before tonight so that it's not just sitting back there for anybody who might be worried. We won't weigh the birds or cut any of them up or do any of that kind of stuff until tomorrow, so which will just be a minute for you. We'll share that with you too. But now we're done. We're gonna hydrate and relax. It's another day. I totally forgot to pick up the camera when we packaged up the 2 whole turkeys that we were keeping. So we put them in the shrink wrap bags. You put them in, you dip them in the water and it shrinks and all of that. One was just over 21 pounds and one was just over 22 pounds. So one will go to another family, one will be for our Thanksgiving gathering, and it is still small enough to fit inside my electric roaster that I use, but quite large. That's a lot of bird. But the remaining 4, I am going to be piecing them out. Most of the breast, maybe all of it, I think, I am going to keep to try and make turkey lunch meat. I've looked at a couple different methods that I want to try and see what we like best, because my family really likes the deli turkey meat, but I don't like to buy that. One, it's very expensive. We have no idea what all is in that, and we're raising turkeys, so we should be making this ourselves. So I am going to take those boneless, skinless breasts and freeze them, and over time be working on some of those options. And I think the thighs and the legs I am going to remove from the bone and grind so that we have some ground turkey throughout the year. And then all of the bones plus the necks that we cut off from the whole turkeys and the feet, I'm going to be putting into a roaster and making bone broth. And I did save the organs, which I've decided I am going to grind and then feed to my dogs and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing with those 6 turkeys. I thought I probably won't show you that whole process within this video because it would make it quite long. But I hope that the butchering portion of this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. We appreciate you watching. Until next time, God bless.